Hello today, and happy to be here.
Thank you very much, Gareth. It's amazing to be here sitting in front of you again. It's a highlight of the week, definitely getting a chance to speak to you. We'll have some questions prepared today from myself and Susan, but I'll try and do the housekeeping first. Susan's always reminding me to ask for clearing or alignment for both of us in these sessions, so we should probably do it at the beginning just to allow the maximum benefit to be received by us through the session. But can I also ask before you do it, if any viewers are looking at this after this recording afterwards, would they, is there a possibility they could receive some clearing or benefit from this part?
Yes, absolutely. As soon as anyone sets the intention of receiving through the sessions, then they too will be cleansed, aligned, and harmonized as per the work we're doing.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anything we should be doing to best receive?
We are just opening the energy through sacred geometry today, expanding out from the heart, and then got in a grid of life today, and you got lots of movement and gentle pulsing of the crystalline frequencies and light to create a harmony and doing this around individually and around the shared space of who you are together with the seed portal. This bringing in the codes and alignments and updates as needed through the session with everything that we touch on and address. Just just nurturing that. The Blu-ray, there appears to be new streams of Blu-ray coming in, and so we will just help this harmonize to help that energy form and flow where and as those codes are coming online. This is good.
Thank you very much. So, can I ask you about the Blu-ray and just how that's affecting us or Susan? Susan's been speaking recently of slightly hoarse of voice when she's been leaving messages. Is that part of what's going on with the Blu-ray coming in and receiving those codes?
And get that in, yeah, as you're connecting through the different spectrum of frequency. So when we split the light, and there are many colors within the light. So when we look at that Blu-ray and we expand out the Blu-ray, and then there's many different frequencies, but many also that aren't tapped into yet. The meditation that she was doing on Saturday and opened up new energy and tapped into new frequencies connected to the planetary field and the greater quantum field, which has created calling in a new connection that hasn't harmonized correctly. And this is what we are assisting with to help harmonize those frequencies fields within that Blu-ray for the communication, so it's moving and flowing through the core energy channel more efficiently in all ways. The communication with the cells, the organs, the physicality to the energetic, it's all encapsulating really in the way it all intertwines and networks and the matrix of the personal and shared space.
Okay, That's a lot of information there. So just for me to try and get a handle on it from where my level of understanding, would blue ray relate to the throat chakra area and the blue that's often associated with that area, and then you seem to be relating it above and below the throat chakra area. Would that be right?
And in Katarinya, that is correct, that in the most simplistic of terms, it is the throat chakra. But the
Okay.
throat chakra is also an important part of every other chakra and energetic pathway, every cell. It represents these traits, these abilities, and those need to be functioning in all the other chakras, even though they are Anya, Tokoto, Jia, they all have their own abilities and traits per se. And Tokoto, Nya, Kata, Jia. Everything needs to be able to weave and move and flow harmoniously for Tokoto, Jia, that channel of energy overall, to be pure, divine, and Yukata, Jia, holding space in a full spectrum of white light.
Okay, that's a great start to the session today. Thank you very much for all that information. So I've got questions from myself and from Susan, and but part of my preparation for today, I was thinking about different questions to ask and making notes, and I started going down the idea of uh, it's a notion that I've heard from other people, spiritual people, about we create our reality. So we create what we experience, I suppose, in this 3, 4D world or 5D world that we're moving into. So, depending on the answer that you give to this, it could negate everything that I've got prepared to follow because it's all about experiencing what we're experiencing and how we improve it. So, can you discuss the notion of humans creating their own reality, or myself or Susan creating our reality and what we experience in the world, particularly linked to, I suppose, the spiritual path that we're on and what we're looking to do next?
When you when as a human you're creating your own reality, yes, the thoughts and emotions and the vibration the body holds rippling out, and it is calling back and the universal law of giving and receiving, and you get back what you're putting out. And hence that cleaning up of mental and emotional processes and healing the emotional wounds is very important. And the cleaner the vessel, the cleaner the vibration, the more optimal the pulling in of a higher reality, and in a rather than a denser reality that one is experiencing. So when you are constantly doing this and you're rewriting your story in your mind, but it's not changing. This is an indication of like a think of it like a wound beneath the skin that you can't see. It's subconscious, what is held within that evolution or what is held within ancestral connections that are unresolved, that are being carried through the contracts of the soul, the karmic energy that is still tugging, and this is coming back to understanding that everything, no matter what it is a clue to to something that is shifting or needing to be shifted.
Okay, that's a great answer. and it actually touched on one of my follow-up questions. So the idea that we create our reality, which you said we do, but we can be affected. How? So what I was going to go on to say was how when things affect us, like ancestral issues or karma affects us. So if how do we then remove those ancestral issues or karma to allow us to be free and allow us to create that reality that we're choosing rather than having something almost dragging us back or weighing us down? So we do need to address those things so that we can freely create our reality from ourselves rather than anything else.
And there are many, many modalities and they are all effective in one way or another. And whether it's coming through sound, through energy, through some other practice. And it is like this world that you live in, has multiple encyclopedias of methodologies to give you the key to open those doors. The where the stumbling often comes in is the fact that people don't believe. They're disempowered by what they're experiencing and they don't even realize to ask the questions or to recognize that it may be more than just a victimization of their existence in this world. And then it gets so locked down and so boggy. But this existence, this existence is as a human free will. This is your choice to be here. And these experiences of what is happening put in place so you have the clues and the understanding when something doesn't feel comfortable. What can I do to get out of that? What resonates? And even if it's just being, I see this. I'm asking for divine help to release, to reset, to recalibrate. To heal mind, body, soul from this experience. Through all evolution. As a single person, it is most are so fragmented here in this reality that it is the forgetting is too overwhelming to find the way on their own. But when there's a coming together of souls, it's like a building of a matrix that strengthens the light to help recognize the keys and recognize the concepts, the thoughts, and the way forward. So when you're connecting with other souls that are make you feel lighter, make you feel brighter, make you feel more expressive. These are the ones that you should keep being with. The ones that make you feel little. These are the ones that often you need to just go, okay, there is something else going on here. Doesn't need to be healed. Is this person part of my future reality? And it's just a healing that's needed, or is it because it is a karmic tie that is needing to be released? And it's just here because it's showing me how to move forward. There are different ways of looking and seeking, but it starts with having the thought of this is a clue, and I am seeing this clue and I'm wanting to do something about it.
Again, an amazing answer. So thank you. So just to quickly summarise for my own understanding, very simply, look for those challenges that come along in life as the clues. Look as them as clues at things that need to be addressed, and then think about that. Is it a karmic tie or is it an ancestral thing? And then you can look to the different modalities that can then help you deal with those karmic ties or ancestral issues that need to be worked on to unburden yourself and allow you just to go forward in life, making the decisions freely for yourself. Would that be a simplistic way of saying what you said so beautifully?
Yeah, that is very good.
Thank you. Thank you. Right. So hopefully we haven't negated all those other questions that we've got prepared today because that was such an amazing answer. Uh, so let me move on to Susan's questions and I'll just bring this over and I'll read out what she's written for me to prepare. Uh, so Susan's words, we have talked before about acclimating or syncing the spiritual eyes with the physical eyes. I am experiencing expanding awareness and shifts at an expedited rate working with the guardians. But Susan's question is, how do we help the physical body remember and rewire into the higher frequency, to the true signature source code? I'll stop there and then ask for your answer for that, please.
The vessel is much slower than than the energy, the consciousness. But it should still be acclimating much quicker. We are just we are just reprogramming as needed through the processes of the cellular system, the transcription, the way it communicates, and these new streams of the Blu-ray coming in, and then weaving them also into the cellular transcription processes, so it can support in more efficient ways within the physical essence of the vessel. See how this goes. We can always readdress in the future as well.
Okay, thank you for that, for doing that for Susan. She carries on after that question to kind of continue the theme. So she says, not just with the eyes, but the teeth also, and other areas of the body. I would like to download the knowing so that I can then be of service to help others to heal as well as myself. I have been taking all advice on board. I tell my body daily how strong and healthy it is, prompt it to remember the frequency of pure love and heal through that. I sit in a knowing of it will be so. And yet through that, I am experiencing very blurry eyes as the shifts, movement and change happen. It is important for me to be in oneness with this physical vessel and for it to be functioning in frequency alignment 100% of what I am connected to. So I guess my thoughts are the work that you just did for Susan, would that address that further statement that I read out there?
Anyando totenia nakanyanya. As you were talking, atotokatejenya katanya, we can feel the nyakotacha depth in the heart. Ananakatoneninatakatacha. So before, when you asked your question, atokotacha, about why uh, the reality is not manifesting as people expect. And then the kototo ticha, and this is a very good example, and no kototo where she is doing everything and the kototo and following advice, and yet it is not no kototo coming forth as expected. But what this is feels very deep. So when one holds a wound that is no kotototocha, so raw and so forgotten that it's like no 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 yeah, it's like atakotocha, that room in a mansion somewhere that has been locked, the key's been thrown away, and no one's allowed in that wing of the house. No tototonya, no kototocha, it's just been forgotten to time. This is what needs to be released, reconciled here for Susan at this time, and to nurture that space back to love, back to self-realization and acceptance. And back into the sovereign frequency. And that was very timely. It was an excellent example of your question.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad it was an example rather than just negating the question altogether. So that was great. I've just fallen on from that idea of the sort of locked part of our heart that needs to be opened up. So we've spoke about Kundalini movement and that sort of awakening. Would that be like a considered a block to proper Kundalini activation working up through, Susan, or is it a different concept or a different system?
Not a different system, but it would definitely make the incubation of the cosmic egg before it cracks a lot longer, or it is still like a denser frequency within the channels.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much. So the next question that Susan's wrote is very much similar to something that I've thought of separately, but Susan almost has put a positive spin on the question where my view was putting a negative spin on it. So I'll read Susan's version. So what Susan is asking is there's something in the overall human genetic library that is ready to be switched on to be aligned to the new human that would exist, all working in this higher vibration to elevate more fluently through the physicality of this life. And she goes on to say, if so, please switch it on and bring that activation into John and into Susan's shared space in the mission through the seed portal so it is fully active and accessible to us. Now, I'll just give you my slight variation. My question was saying, what is stopping us accessing the higher abilities? Is it the matrix? Is it the blueprint? Is it our DNA? Or is it consciousness? But I suppose Susan's saying she's got a more positive version on it, just saying, is there something? Let's remove it. Whereas, uh, are you able to answer that word salad that I gave you?
Aino to Katinya. Aino to Katinya. When we last spoke, Atatiana Nakatanya, and we spoke of the the old wireframe of Earth and the new wireframe of Earth. Do you recall this?
I do, yes.
And in the with this comes the Ananokonya, the bridging codes, and you've got the. So when we look at the human form and we look at the Ananokotacha, what has been, and the new crystalline children being born, and the it's like the old and the new wireframe. Ananokotacha. So essentially, we are at the able to bring the spinal channels of information from the two so they can vibrate coherently together and the codes can harmonize. This will help the original human form and the new human form to be receiving in a more coherent way that establishes and harmonizes through the nervous system, all those spinal energy channels that are flowing through there also.
Okay, thank you very much.
So specifically looking and doing this then and the collective space. So again, anyone who connects with this information and it resonates can call this in. And then we are assertively calling it in for John and Susan and the seed portal and as it exists within its own realm of within its own realm of frequency that is connected to both of you and aligned to the higher soul mission.
Thank you very much. I could feel a shift in energy there as you were doing that.
Please breathe.
Thank you.
And just stimulating and harmonizing that throughout. This is good.
Thank you. So the final sort of question or statement of part of Susan's questions, I think you've just answered it actually. But she says, could you please check the foundational code of Susan and John in alignment to the wireframe of the 5D and above frequency to make sure the physical vessel is responding in all ways and potentials unfolding so it can sustain the vibration of the channel with you and also with the architects and the wise ones with ease.
So we harmonized for the human form, but it would be beneficial to it would be helpful to update those what she called foundational codes of like what is reflecting through you for your mission. What is your symbiotic relationship with the planet and collective energy. That part of it. Yes, that part of it.
Thank you.
Oh no 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 nya no no, very solar energy and the kata chia chikata chia. Kata chinya no no kata chia, bringing that in the heart mind connection, the higher heart, higher mind in that symbiotic relationship with the planet for greater and knowing and understanding. Kata chinya. Kata chia. It looks like a ojo kata chia. Like yeah, no, no, yeah, no, koto cha, like old-fashioned games that have a glitch and they've got the nya and it at koto cha and it pixelates and you koto cha. So we bring in the new codes to help it run smoothly, to transition, to transcribe, to transmute and transform effortlessly. This is better. This is look, it's flowing now. This is much better.
Thank you very much for doing all that work. For us and for anyone who's watching, as we said at the beginning, just if this resonates with you, then tune in and take the deep breaths and receive the frequency upgrades that the Guardians of Light are giving us.
I know, no, no, this area again, feels very tight. We would just like a moment to help it transmute. Okay, this will be okay.
Thank you very much. So to shift our vision slightly, Susan's final point is saying she will be attending a QHHT meetup within the next week. So QHHT is a quantum healing hypnosis technique that both Susan and myself are practitioners of. And part of that is we get together for weekends every so often to work with each other and to learn and to hone our techniques. So she'll be going to that very soon. And as part of that, she'll be regressed 3 times as a client. So she's asking, should there be any intentional focus for that weekend and for herself in those regressions that she has not consciously realized at this point?
And you kata the understanding of the frequency and energy of why Jesus was here. There is a deeper aspect that is perhaps unrealized that could awaken through the Christ consciousness to assist in much of what is being received, understood, and also within the reawakening of the energy channels.
Okay, I just love it how all our questions join up here and it totally flows on to my questions with your answer. So one of my questions is just I just wrote down Kundalini / Christ consciousness question mark to explore that sort of that concept. So the concept of Christ consciousness is as we understand it at the moment is it's people on the planet receiving Christ consciousness or moving towards the consciousness that Christ held as almost the second coming of Christ. So rather than actually a figure coming back to the planet, it's us understanding the frequencies and the love that he held and then trying to embody them. And so part of the path that we're all on, a lot of us are on, I suppose, is working towards that, whether we know it or not. I suppose I'm just discovering it for myself recently. Is that linked to the Kundalini? Because I believe the Kundalini would give you very much heightened consciousness and a lot of visions and abilities that would go towards what you would imagine Christ consciousness would also give. Is it this coming from a similar place?
Anyakotokatanya, it is part of the Anyakotokatanya, the reconnection, but so is the planet. And many Jitokototichia focus on themselves but forget about that symbiotic relationship with the planet. Anyanakototichia, hence the guidance for Nononokototichia, more foundational alignment. And recognizing that you are here, and the Kundalini is not purely you, but also what you're interwoven with through the planet, as well as the cosmic field, as above, so below, become limitless in both spaces, and you complete the channel to awaken fully.
Okay, so I understand that idea about completing the channel, and I suppose the work that we're doing in meditation and through other modalities is trying to clear that channel. And as we spoke about 10 minutes ago, clearing any hidden chambers in the heart and opening them up so that all the energy can flow. And there may be blockages in other parts of people's chakras that need to be worked on, and that's when the other modalities come in. So to jump back to the first question in my list today, but we've maybe already covered it. So I've written what is holding us back from higher abilities, and but I think that's been answered. But
How do you comprehend that?
that would be the sort of, I suppose, the receiving of abilities that would allow me to work for people and help them in situations. Work with it could be healing abilities, or it could be receiving an ability like psychometry, or perhaps developing the ability to speak light language and communicate with beings such as yourself. So there could be lots of different types of abilities that may be unlocked in many different people through a Kundalini awakening. So, but to actually lead on from my thoughts on unlocking higher abilities, I was thinking about the sort of the plan that we all come onto Earth with, and everyone's got a personal plan, or sort of a life plan, with perhaps all the major stepping stones in your life sort of set out for you to a certain amount. So you've got free will within that to work your own way towards those major milestones. And I then thought, if a full Kundalini awakening was to happen in your life, then that would definitely be on a life plan. So, can you give me your thoughts on that idea of having coming in with a life plan and almost be certain milestones in your life is already predetermined before you come in?
The way we understand and comprehend what you are saying is that you make choices coming in and to the experiences that are going to be received that help you to move forward and reconnect the mind, body, soul. And you still have free will to choose to respond to those clues or not respond. And so in in an ideal space, you become very aware, and you follow all the clues, and you trust the path, and from there, you surpass all expectation of what you ever came in for. And you work with teams, councils and guardians of light and to update your contracts so that it is part of your reality and you keep updating into what comes next, what comes next, what comes next. And there are no limitations as a being here in the physical reality. And then many feel always seeking, always when it is or when I can. You are limitless now, here. All the clues are being presented to help you nurture and integrate and find the path forward. You are the people around and listening carefully to the words, the phrases, the concepts and calling in where it feels right and rejecting what doesn't feel right. And really, it's like straining your life. It's like bringing in your chi and then pushing it down like a fine strain and straining everything that is not of that pure divine frequency and light until you're cleaner and cleaner and cleaner. And then everything is becoming a reality. Everything is coming online. And the soul is remembering. And that's the key. That remembrance becomes easy to receive within the consciousness of the cells reproducing in that frequency that exists within the body, within the brainwaves, within the auric field. It is all interwoven, interconnected. And then also, as you're doing this, and you're always intending that you're not just connecting up here, but you're also interweaving with that symbiotic relationship with Gaia, and so you're becoming one with the divine elements and realms. You are one, always. And it's just many are fragmented from that oneness. So choose not to be limitless, and look for the clues to keep getting you there.
Oh, what an amazing answer. Thank you so much. That's so valuable. It resonates completely with me, and with a lot of what I've already understand, but then you've given advice on how to keep cleaning your channel and just going forward and to fulfill your potential. It's just a beautiful answer. But it leads me on to my next question, and it's great how this everything seems to fall into place here. So I'm asking, am I doing enough inner work to help my ascension in the raising of my consciousness and the general consciousness of the planet, which you keep talking about, connect to Gaia? So I'm very much aware that the work that we're all doing is for ourselves and for the planet to take us to the next place. So what I'm saying is there a big detriment when my life gets so busy with the 3D that I don't get a chance to meditate and I don't get a chance to sort of clean my channel and do the things that I should be doing. And it's almost like I've just had a really busy week behind me and I've got quite a few coming up in front of me. And I'm like, well, should I be quieting my life down so that I can actually just sit and be myself, be in a quiet space, connect to my guides on a regular basis and meditate? Or can we still be successful with the ascension and with raising our consciousness and maintaining a busy life? Is it slowing me down massively by being so busy with a 3D life, I suppose is what I'm saying.
No, it is important to integrate from those quiet moments as well. And you are a divine being. And whether you are sitting and calling in to fully feel and express in that frequency that channels through you, Or if you are out and being busy, and when you are out, it only takes a micro moment to even be still, take a deep breath, and send love back down and through everything that is and through around to imagine that every heartbeat is healing the frequency of everything that is around you through all those people. I know little intentions that continue to connect you to that unconditional love and the limitless, beautiful divine being that you are. Your light is very strong. You just be kind to yourself and allow times where you are busy with really practicing mindfulness and times when you are practicing life. And the human experience is important as well.
Yeah. Again, thank you for a great answer. That's just it's reassuring to know that I'm not holding anything back, but I'm very much dedicated to moving myself forward, and I have been in the past couple of years. Uh, so I probably got to the end. I'm just reading my last question, and I really think we've covered it when I spoke about our life plan. We have covered it, just that concept of a life plan. Like I suppose I was actually thinking. Like the if someone was to have a Kundalini awakening in life, a full Kundalini awakening, then it probably would be a major step that you would say, right, that's going to happen before you come in to this existence, because it's such a major change in the human existence to have a Kundalini awakening. Uh, and I was really just asking if the life plan would have that on it. I would imagine it would. That's all I was asking.
And in the not necessarily, not written from the start. And
Right.
some yes. And the spiritual master reborn into reality with a very set plan, but not all. And it is still achievable when you especially when you practice through like QHHT, where you are connected to your higher source and you are able to work very intentionally to update and rewire for the connection to exist in a specific space of what you're wanting to achieve. So that's a very powerful tool to work through.
The big topic that we've touched on today that maybe I haven't asked you enough about is Christ consciousness. I feel as if it's something that we could spend an hour talking about on our solely on that topic. We might do that one day. I think I maybe gave you my view of what Christ consciousness was, rather than asking you what it really is and what you see it as. Maybe you did give me that answer, but I feel as if I want to ask you again for your view on Christ consciousness. And I think a lot of the things that you're giving advice on is taking us towards it. So it's like all the secrets of Christ consciousness is in the conversation that we're having. But I'm just wondering if you can give us your view on it again.
Christ consciousness is is sovereign, it's peace, and it's unconditional love. It's higher awareness and it's non-judging. It's like the perspective that sees and understands and brings unity back where things have been broken. It is a sense of being home within oneself, as it is such a deep radiating peace that is just in every breath. It's a stillness. Christ consciousness is. It is like it is like bliss without ecstasy. It's just like like being in the human experience and yet floating in these like floating on these big like big locks that are still deep, clear. And it's a connection to the vibration of the elements and the realms. It is a remembrance of what home feels like within oneself.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad I asked for your interpretation of it. That was amazing and beautiful. That is just, that was wonderful. As you were speaking, and I was realizing the enormity of Christ consciousness, I'm thinking holding that light within yourself in this 3D world would really set you apart. And then it led me on to think, well, maybe it actually takes you out of this world into 5D. Maybe by the time you get to that point, you're shifting completely and you're
And
almost
we recommend not analyzing it so much as becoming it, where as you learn to be it, like it's like a baby that is born and can't walk would be looking at someone who can walk and going, whoa, that must be 5D.
okay.
I wonder what I have to do to be there. But
Right.
every day one is learning, one is growing, one is experiencing to a point where it just happens naturally. And that is the beauty because it's accessible and it doesn't have to be that or that. It is a progression of coming into and that remembrance that is realized within oneself, and you grow into it. You become it as you embody it more and more and more, and it becomes like a like like something that is just being at home within yourself, as we said.
Okay. Right. That's fantastic. We'll say no more on that today. It's a beautiful way to finish. Uh, However, I've just got one thing here, was a note to ask about the architects of light. Are the architects anywhere near coming through?
And they do keep baking in, and they're very active in the fields. And very active around both you and Susan in the seed portal. And looking for the intentional co-creation to work with you both. And so when you allow that process and time to experience the building of realities through them. And then and this is that forward moment, that forward momentum. And then this is where they're at.
Ah,
This is
right.
where they'll be when you're looking for them.
Okay. That me right back to my first question when we say we create our own reality. So the architects would be there for us when we're looking to really structure our own reality and how we want it to be.
When it's led from the heart, pure heart,
Okay. Okay.
into that new future, into that new and wireframe of the planet.
Amazing. Amazing. So I think I've got to the end of the questions and I'm just double checking that. Yes, well, I've asked everything that Susan's asked me, and I've got everything that I've asked, and we've got to about an hour long. So just to finish, we spoke about so many amazing things today with beautiful answers. I can't believe how it gets deeper every week, and we take it further and further, and it's just a real privilege to be here and sitting in front of you and getting this information. Is there any final comment that you want to make today that maybe just round off anything that has been said, or is everything needed to be said for today?
Ajatakatanya, just Susan with regression. Atatakatanya, seek. Atatakatanya, it's important to seek. Keep listening to Anyanandakatacha, those thoughts, Atatakatanya, the whispers, and then much is coming into awareness. Don't it's like things are getting lost if they're not brought forth. So just keep seeking and writing and to realize that what one is calling in next. Accessing and then this is all.
Okay. Thank you very much.